Welcome to our uplifting 15-minute practice at home. We are going to be starting in a standing position. If you want to take your practice in a chair, please get yourself a chair. And we shouldn't need anything else. If you want to move between the two options of being on a chair and standing, then please feel free. So we're going to start in Tadasana. So if you're in the chair, bringing yourself to a comfortable position, and we're just going away from the chair a little. And if you're standing, just starting to bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. So placing your feet roughly hip width apart. And as you take your awareness to the soles of your feet, maybe you also look at your feet and lift your toes, have a little wiggle just to really start to take your awareness to this part of your body. You may also have a little lift of your heels, and then starting to bring your awareness now to where you feel the contact of the ground or the contact of the chair if you are sat on the chair. And then closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Starting now to have an awareness of the whole of your body, where you feel external contact and support. And then starting to establish your neutral spine. So bringing in those two kind of elements of support and ease. So using that little bit of activity in your muscles to create this upright position to allow that natural curvature of your spine. And then as you take your awareness to the crown of your head, softening your shoulders and feeling the weight of your body into the ground or into the chair. And to begin with, just to get that little bit of breath awareness, placing your hands onto your abdomen. And then beginning to follow your breath. Encouraging your inhalation all the way down to where your hands are resting. So using this sense of touch to encourage this part of you to soften, and your hands might move a little, just so that air can flow as freely as possible. And as you breathe out, take your awareness back to where you feel connected, so maybe your soles of your feet or to your sitting bones. And then releasing your arms so that they feel relaxed. Taking a little check-in with how you feel today. Allowing yourself to notice what's present. And then without getting caught up with that, bring yourself back into the presence of your body and back into the sensation of your breath. And we're going to start with a forward fold. So with your hands resting onto your thighs. As you next take an out breath, sliding your hands down towards your feet, wherever that is for you. You might want to take your feet a little wider. You might want to keep your head in line with the spine, or it might feel good for you to round the spine and release your head. On your next in-breath, we'll start to rise back up. And again, maybe it's a rounded spine, or maybe you come back to engaging that neutral spine and coming back up. So whichever feels the most supportive for you, exactly the same if you are in the chair. Breathing out as we move close to the ground and breathing in as we rise back up. So we're just going to take a few more of these at your own pace, using this movement initially to connect the breath to our body, to connect the breath to our movement. Okay, the next time that you breathe in, just notice how the in-breath works in helping your body lift. So as you follow the flow of air, feeling it fill your body inside, notice how it starts to initiate that lifting feeling, that hinging movement at your hips, lifting back up. Okay, the next time that you bring yourself to an upright position into your Tadasana mountain, have a little shrug of your shoulders. Come back to feeling the weight of your body resting evenly into where you are connected to your external support. Maybe taking a sigh if that feels good for you. A little reset. Okay. So now we're going to wrap your arms around you. So just feel the contact of your hands against your body. Feel the contact of your arms against one another. And then starting to open your arms out, keeping your palms facing forwards and encouraging your gaze towards the ceiling, broadening your chest. And then wrapping your arms around you again. And we're going to switch whichever arm was on top. If you can't remember, don't worry. We can start from now. So starting to connect your breath. As you breathe in, we're opening your arms out, extending your spine. And then as you breathe out, wrapping your arms around you. Continuing to follow your breath. And again, really sensing into the in-breath, how the in-breath supports the movement. As you follow the air, filling your body, that lift across your chest and invites your arms to open out. And then as you breathe out, coming back to that gathering in motion. So we're really focusing on how that in-breath brings a feeling of space within. And we're sensing into that physically with that intention of inviting a little bit more space within our minds. So encouraging that spaciousness to move a little deeper. Okay, and just for these next few, as you breathe out, you might want to bring a little bit more rounding in your spine. And if you're standing, maybe a bend in your knees, just to really start to allow yourself to sense into this uplifting, opening of your in-breath. And then taking one more. This time as you open your arms out, just allowing them to rest alongside you. Have a little shrug. Okay, so now we're going to come into Warrior One. So bringing yourself towards the back of your mat. And we're going to take a nice big step forwards with your left foot. So having your feet roughly hip width apart, the toes of your right foot are pointing just out to the side a little, making sure that you feel nice and stable in your foundations. If you're in the chair, option for you to lower your right knee towards the ground. You can extend that leg out if that feels comfy in your hips. You might need to sit on a cushion or bring yourself a little higher, or you can take that wide leg stance. Taking your hands into your hip creases if you are standing. Starting to take a bend into your front left leg. Keeping the right leg nice and extended. Keeping your spine extended. And just encouraging that knee to move over your toes. Okay, the next time you bend into that front knee, we're going to pause here. Whether you're in the chair or standing, on your next in-breath, letting that in-breath carry your arms up and then float your arms down. So we're going to keep our legs in this nice stable position, breathing in as you let that breath carry your arms up. You can have as much of a bend in your elbows as you like. Start to bring some extension in your spine, breathing out as you float your arms down. We're going to repeat this a few more times. If you feel like you want to extend your leg and just come out of this position, then we can move in and out. So as you breathe in, we've got the bend in the knee, we're floating the arms up, gaze follows. Then as you breathe out and float the arms down, if you wish, you can extend that front leg. Breathing in as you feel that space spreading up the front of your body, and then breathing out as you return your spine back to that neutral position. And we're just going to take a few more of these. Trying to get the movement to be as seamless as possible so that it's following the wave of your breath. Okay, And then the next time that you float your arms down, you're going to step your feet together. Take a little pause. And then getting ready to do that onto the other side. So stepping forwards now with your right foot. And just making sure you feel nice and stable. So the toes of the left foot are just pointing out slightly. Feet hip width apart. Starting to take a bend into that front knee, hands in your hips. And trying to keep the rest of the body as it is. So we're bending into the knee and the hip, but everything else kind of remains the same. So the balance of the weight of your body, rather than coming forwards, we're still pushing back into that back foot. Okay, so getting that same setup if you're in the chair, finding whichever position of your leg feels right for you. And if we're standing, the next time we take a bend into that front knee, we're going to pause here. And then on our next in-breath, let that carry your arms up. As you breathe out, we're floating the arms down. So just starting to let that connect to your breath as you feel the breath bring in space within your body. And as you breathe out, feeling that neutral alignment arrive back into your spine. So as much of a bend as you'd like in your elbows so that you can really feel a sense of ease in your arms. And if you want to start to just bring a little bit of kind of release into your legs, we've got a bend in the knee as we lift the arms up, and that option to extend the knee as you float our arms down. So if that feels better for you and more easeful to really connect to this uplifting invitation of space, and bring in as much or as little of a spinal extension into this as you'd like. Really nice. Okay, we'll just take one more of those at your own pace. And when you bring your arms back down, taking a little pause, stepping your feet together with your hands resting onto your thighs. On your next out breath, sliding your hands down towards your feet, and we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths in your forward fold. So if you choose to keep your spine long, keeping your head a little higher, if it's safe for you to do so, releasing the weight of your head, you can have as much of a bend in your knees as you'd like, and it may feel nice for you to have a little sway. And then very slowly starting to lift yourself back up. When you arrive back up into Tadasana, maybe taking another little sigh. Notice again how you feel. How are those levels of space? Okay. So then we're just going to take a wider leg stance, starting to bring some space into the sides of your body. So starting with your right hand, connecting that to your in-breath. Let the in-breath carry your right arm up as you slide your left hand down. And as you breathe out, bringing yourself back in line. Just going to take a few more of those. Feeling that space spreading up the right side of your body. And then as you breathe out, feel that little bit of support in your center to bring you upright. And we're just going to take a couple more of these, just really being aware of the physical sensations along the right side of your body. Maybe there is a feeling of it becoming sort of a little bit longer as you reach your arm. And we're going to make that the last one on this side. Notice how both sides of your body feel. Have a little shrug of your shoulders before we come over to the other side. Breathing in as you lift your left arm. Breathing out as you return. And as you repeat on that side, starting to notice those sensations now along the left side of your body. And just a little note, if there's any shoulder things going on here, lift your arm as high as it's available for you. And another really nice way of feeling that openness is to rotate your palm forwards and then rotate it back, just so that you can still connect into that kind of opening feeling, and you're still creating that space along the side of your body. Okay, making that the last one on this side. When you bring yourself back into Tadasana, coming into our final movement, so bringing a bit of rotation now. Bringing your feet a little bit closer together. Nice and simple. As you breathe in, float your arms up. And then as you breathe out, we're going to turn to the left as you float your arms down. If you're standing, an optional bend in your knees. On your next in-breath, feel that breath rising up, carrying your arms up as you bring your spine back in line, looking ahead. As you breathe out, turning to the right, floating your hands down and that optional bend of the knees. Breathing in, exhaling as you rotate. And as you breathe in, that option for you to take your gaze up towards the ceiling and bring in a little extension. Breathing out as you lower and rotate. So as we take these final few, just really sensing into the physical space being created in your body from the in-breath, the extension as it rises up through your spine. And then this time as you bring your arms up, floating your hands down, resting your hands onto your thighs. Coming into that last forward fold, Uttanasana, as you slide your hands down, pausing for a few breaths. Feeling the space of your breath rising up into the back of your body. And then as you next take an in-breath, let that bring your torso back into the upright position. And then closing your eyes or softening your gaze. With your arms resting alongside you, turning your palms to face forwards and just notice how that feels across your chest and your shoulders. As you follow your breath moving through your body, notice what's present for you. Having a little check-in with those levels of spaciousness within. Allowing your breath to create a little pause and bring some space into your day. Relaxing your arms. Blinking your eyes open. And that rounds up our uplifting practice. Thank you so much.